And hello there. Welcome back. This is episode 6 of the Scarborough Dudes Museum Bar series of videos. This is where I pick out objects from around the bar here. I'd love to give you a tour of the whole bar. Maybe we'll do that someday. But there are hundreds of objects here that each one with a story or a background to it. And I'm trying to share bits and pieces. Nothing is scripted, it's only whatever comes to mind when I pick up the object. So we're going to start today with something I think you'll find quite interesting. I've got a little lock. This is a clue. This is kind of an interesting, it's a very solid lock. And you've probably never seen one like that. That's a railway lock. And I'm not quite sure why I have it. There's a special key. So anybody who worked on the railway would have one of these keys, two little prongs. And you just insert that into the bottom and you twist and twist. So it'd be a good thing for locking a gate, and the average person wouldn't be able to pick it. And it's heavy. It's solid metal. So there you go, open, closed. But that's not what we're going to talk about. That's just a little reminder that I spent all my university years, basically from 1968 until 72, working for the railway, for CN, in fact, as a teletype attendant, and then later on in the Point St. Charles yards. Now those were railway yards from the old days when they actually manufactured things. They reconditioned cabooses there, they had a dry kiln, manufacturing, they were making freight car wheels and rolling them off. That was the worst place. You didn't want to work in the wheel bay. It was hot. It was greasy. It was heavy, heavy work. Rolling out freight car wheels. Oh, I got very lucky. I got posted to the lumber yard, and we unloaded the wood that came in from British Columbia, and basically that was our job, unloading and stacking wood. It was wonderful. Nice smell to it, fresh air outside every day, working with French Canadians, Italians, just a mix of people. And Point St. Charles, La Pointe, it's called. A very, very interesting part of Montreal. Mainly a mixture of a lot of Italian and French. But anyway, on to the object. So one of my shifts I got posted, they asked me to fill in the night shift for somebody who was in the service section to provide the mechanics with the things they needed to repair the engines. First thing he showed me, he said, okay, here is your bed. And they had one whole shelf lined with railway cushions, the seats for the railway, for the engineers. And he said, that's your bed. And basically the message was, you lie down, you sleep here at night because nobody wants to work, and just leave the door open for the mechanics, and if they need something, they'll get whatever they need, and they'll sign out for it. You don't have to do anything. So that was a nice touch. I got a lot of stories about that, but at the end of it all, I gifted myself with something. I used the word, when I was talking about the ashtrays, I used the word stole, and that doesn't feel right. So I acquired, gifted myself. Here is something. This was a souvenir of that summer working in the shops. An absolutely beautiful, genuine Hiram L. Piper, Company Limited, CNR, branded for the CNR, Canadian National Railways, Railway Brakeman's Lantern. Now you can see there's a beautiful red globe in here. I also took, I wanted the set, so I also took the clear glass globe and the green globe, the green light. Now, I don't know where those are, unfortunately. I hate to think I would have acquired this probably in 1971. So, it's going back a few years, and, I've moved around a lot in my life. It's amazing that I've finally, this is my first house I've ever owned, was able to amass everything together and put it in the bar. And that's why I'm hoping to get rid of things. That's why we're doing this podcast. Oh, note the hat, by the way. This is my father's hat. This is Marine Industries Limited. They're a shipbuilding company, and towards the end, he was the liaison for Lloyd's of London Insurance, and would go out, and if there was a shipwreck or a ship run aground or a report needed to be written, anything to do along the St. Lawrence, that's what he did. So he acquired this, and now I have it. But here's the lantern. Now just look at that. Beautiful. Kerosene, of course. You open this up, and there's a wick. I remember getting extra wicks at the time, because I'd use this in my basement, in my hippy-dippy basement back in Lachine. I used to light this thing up. It was a beautiful lantern to have. We also had a ship's lantern, which my father acquired as well from the dredging. So here we go. That's the object for tonight. Who could put a price? You could probably find these on eBay or some other site offering, you know, get it for this price. Little adjustment there to raise or lower the wick. They were beautiful, and they were well made. They were made so that when they waved this at the freight trains, you know, so the engineer could see in the rear, they knew whether it was a green light or red light, or they could see these things very well. So I think it's a wonderful gift. It's got a place of honor here in the bar, but one day I'll want to get rid of that. You'd think my sons might want something like this. Look at the lovely stand too. It just sits like that. It's a work of beauty in its simplicity. Just very simple metal. They could crank these out of the factory very easily. The glass is the tricky part. It's just curved just right to fit in there. There's a lid for opening it up. I don't know if we need to do that. And you take out the glass bowl. I really wish I had the green one here, because it was beautiful. There's the wick. Yeah, there's still some wick. I could still use this. This whole thing lifted out, and you fill it up with kerosene. So it's a you know, why don't I bring this camping? This should be part of my camping gear. Now there's one I need the white light for, though. Damn. I don't know. Maybe those are buried around somewhere in my treasures. I should look for those. Yeah, I don't know why I never use this for camping. So maybe this is something I don't really want to part with. I wouldn't even set a price on it. I mean, I'd leave that for somebody out there is going to say, "Woohoo! Hey! The rest of that stuff is crap." But that lantern, that genuine CN Hiramel Piper Brakeman's lantern, ooh, I'd like one of those. So it's a good souvenir, and you know, the railway is sort of my connection to Jack Kerouac and Neil Cassidy. The beat scene, mind you, I wasn't flagging down trains, but I was working with a lot of interesting characters during those times, and eventually moved off to Prince George and got a job at BC Rail, laying down ties. But that's another story for another time. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that. Any questions, send them in. You can always reach me. Dixon Janes, DICKSJANES @gmail.com, or Google Scarborough Dude, and you'll find me somewhere. So come on back next week. I'll have something else from the bar to show you all, to share with you. Bye for now.